Well, that's really a tough act to follow, and I get that job every year, and I'm surprised nobody has left yet, but thank you all, especially the honorees, not just the ones from this year, but the 8 others from past years who are here. You are the true heroes. We celebrate you, we honor you. Every day, you give of yourselves to help children. As I was trying to plan my closing remarks for tonight, I was watching TV, which I do all too seldom, frankly, and there was a new Marine Corps ad I saw, and it ends with the line that says, "Which way would you run?" I had heard this same question, strangely enough, asked by a clergyman in a sermon recently, talking about the Boston Marathon bombings. And it has occurred to me that this has become a pivotal question in our society. Which way would you run? When a great challenge faces us, which way do we run? I could argue easily that our Congress has decided to run away from facing the challenges by abdicating their responsibility to make decisions, but I won't get into politics tonight. At the time of the marathon bombings, in that split second of decision-making, many people ran away in fear. That's the natural human reaction. But a very few heroes ran into the maelstrom, like Joe Andruzzi, who ignored his own well-being, his own injuries, and rushed in to carry away a woman whose legs were so severely injured she couldn't walk, and then, after depositing her at the aid station, ran back to rescue others. If you want to know what makes someone run to the danger instead of away from it, just ask Triveni Acharya. If you want to know what makes people take on the greatest of challenges rather than turning away from them, just ask Kiely Mycroft. And if you want to know what makes someone so committed that when even faced by total disaster, they continue to run into the problem and not away from it, Susie Kraybacher. Which way would you have run had you been at the Boston Marathon? When Andruzzi was asked about his heroic acts, you know what he said? He said, "I'm not a hero. The people who crossed the finish line and ran straight to the triage tents to give blood and tend to the fallen, they were the heroes." And yet, he continued to run into the danger and not away from it. Which way would you run today if you saw that little boy being dragged on a garbage can lid with his stump of his leg all bloodied and missing, like Meade Wells did? Or if you saw the hungry children and families, as Lauren Bush Lauren did, which way would you run? I have to say that the Marines' use of the tagline, "Which way would you run?" is not some Madison Avenue hype. Our Marines have always been the ones who run into the fray, not away from it. From Iwo Jima to the Inchon Reservoir, from Guadalcanal to Helmand Province, that is what has defined the Marine Corps. But for us, here in this room tonight, the question is filled with a different meaning. Which way would we run? The honorees you met here tonight and the 95 others that have been on the stage over the past 16 years have never wavered. They have run toward the challenge, not once, not twice, but again and again and again, often showing total disregard for their own well-being. And you know why they do it? One simple reward: the smile of a child. We have choices. We have choices tonight, we have choices every night, choices that millions of people do not have. You heard Lauren talk about them. We can finish our dinners and return home without a look back. We can get up in the morning and hurry off to work without so much as a sideways glance at the people around us. Or like the honorees you met here tonight, you can look back, you can glance sideways, and you can see the needs of so many languishing in the shadows of our good fortune. What should be our response? Run away or run toward? George Bernard Shaw wrote, "We are made wise, not by the recollection of our past, but by our responsibility for the future." Now it is our turn to choose. The easy path is to turn away and go home unaffected by what you have experienced here tonight. But the tough path is to look back over your shoulder, to glance sideways, and to see those less fortunate and run towards them with not just your wealth, but your time, your skill, your love. That's why we honor these people here tonight and all year long. Because every day they run toward the challenges, not away from them. And yes, the challenges are so great, it's easy to get into vapor lock. You heard Lauren talk about how many millions of children go to bed hungry, and there are millions more that die from preventable diseases, and it's easy to get into vapor lock. But there's only one way to deal with this issue. One little hand by one little hand, and one little heart by one little heart. That's how we change the lives of children. So as you leave here tonight, spend a minute. Stop and talk to one of our honorees and find out why they do what they do, why they run toward the challenges. I noticed a few days ago that Pope Francis said, quote, "True charity requires courage." Interesting. Did you not see courage here tonight demonstrated before you? So on the way out tonight, you can look back, you can look sideways, or you can go straight home. But if you look back or look sideways, consider the fact that if you stop at the door and buy one more key, maybe you can help unlock a child's future. Because that's what we're here to do. These honorees you heard here tonight, and you will meet on your way out, they face those challenges. Our job is to help them do it. Khalil Gibran, the great Lebanese poet-philosopher, said, "Your children are not yours alone. They belong to the world. We have an obligation. We have an opportunity. We have a responsibility." So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight, for supporting this effort, and for many of you who have been here for years now, for your continuing support. But it's not over. Tonight, like a graduation, is not an ending, it's a beginning. So thank you all for being here, and we bless you all and wish you a good night. Thank you.